Thank you, everyone, and it's wonderful to see a room full of people, not just people, but people who are advocating sustainability. So a couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege to be the MC for the day one of the AlterCOP 30. And AlterCOP 30, for everybody's information, is a 2-week event mirroring what is happening in Brazil. In Brazil, you have the politician, you have the negotiator, the activist, etc. And right here in Singapore, we have a group of people advocating that same subject, but more from a community point of view, and how individual, how groups, how people on the ground can make a difference. So enough about that. I will talk about my experience. It was a wonderful experience, I must say. Day one, it started, kick off everything, and the energy was very high. It was a full day of event, from the morning where we have the opening remarks by the organizer, to news from AlterCOP, please, from news from Brazil, to back-to-back expert talks. And then we have panel discussion, we have fireside chat, we have youth coming together to talk about their experiences, and finally we had a movie, a short movie on sustainability. It was a fully packed day, and it was a very powerful day indeed. So 3 things stand out to me. There was this climate scientist. Incidentally, he was in the same team as one of our members, Sing Rong. Sing Rong, who is not here today, is a climate scientist. And his boss gave the speech. His boss was Dr. Ariel Musa. So Ariel Musa was talking about the climate being, the target being 1.5 degrees, and that is the limit. However, we are already at 1.45. How close are we to that limit? So he told us the heat wave being longer, hotter, and being more serious. And he talked about things like the drought, extreme rainfall, cyclone, intensifying. I have to read here because it's very, very technical. However, what Dr. Ariel left us wasn't just about fear, it was about empowerment. He reminded us the science and the technology is here to help us. If you are guided by the scientific information, we are more than able to be in control to a certain extent. So that was, in fact, a good kickoff for me on that day. Thereafter, there was this lady, Christine Emo-Level. She gave climate a face, a feminine face. She talked about women in Kenya, in the Indonesia, and the Philippines, how they are playing a part. First, how they are impacted, and how certain groups are playing a part. So she reminded us that women are actually impacted by climate even more than the men. Very interesting, right? I never knew this. She talked about women being vulnerable. However, if they are given the tools, the education, and the ability to make decisions, they can actually be a powerful solution to this climate problem. And she finally said that it's not about charity, it's not giving this woman some money, it's about strategy, how you can actually enable and empower them to make the difference. So that was a very powerful story from her. And the third one that I remembered was by this person, Rupen Dasel. He talked about regeneration, or the regenerative mindset. Everybody talk about climate, oh, we should do something, we should neutralize, etc. He went beyond that. He talked about how we should actually make a, I would say, a total change. It's not talking about reducing, not talking about recycling, but a total mindset change that perhaps using some of the things that we are doing, just flipping it and making a difference. So he talked about, I think, some solution. I can't remember exactly, but about some ways that can be used in a more effective way. Not just negating the effect, but actually multiply the good that it can do to mankind. After that, there were the youth delegate talking about the research that they've done, the civil society leaders talking about individually what they can do, even like helping migrant workers in a certain way. So those were quite interesting. The most important thing that I took away is not the science, it's not the new technology, the new ideas, but really coming back to Toastmasters. I'm reminded that how our voices can be used to advocate, to educate, and to unite. All the speakers, all the panelists were using their voice to do that, and how powerful is our voice. So it is really great today that we are all doing that. So with that, thank you so much for the opportunity. Suzanne, kind of like given me this opportunity to do the MC. So overall, if you have more questions, come to me. There's so much that I've learned and gained. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Sharon.